Hi everyone, welcome to Spirit World Insights. I'm Jackie, and today, I'm hoping the phone will stay. Today I am at a park in Texas and the wind is blowing. So despite a lot of the different distractions and sounds that are going on, hopefully you can hear me. So we're going to elaborate on the last video that I did last week, and it was about understanding a little bit more deeply the meaning behind our departure. Okay, when we lose loved ones, when our soul decides that it's time to go. And I want to go into the topic of incarnating and then reincarnating, because it's a topic that people really don't talk about that much, at least not in my arena. It's something that I don't think is very popular, number one, to talk about, because as humans we are designed to think along the lines of survival. So talking about death is like you're opening the door to it. So we're going to talk about it, and I do encourage you to listen, because it really does bring about information that you already know. It's just stored inside your memory and you just maybe haven't tapped into it yet. But like I said last week, it's a plan. We get together with creation. It's a co-creation with Creator, with soul families, star families, etc. on what are you coming here to do? Why are you coming in? Is there a mission that you're helping? Are you assisting the planet somehow, some way? Or are you coming in to recoup? Maybe you're just coming in to have an experience that's going to challenge you beyond what you did before, because obviously what we're doing every time we incarnate is to try to level up our consciousness, raising our vibration. So let's talk about different things that we might incarnate into, because it's actually kind of a fun topic. This past year, I've been channeling a lot more animals, and I'm going to talk about the dogs first, because what I began to notice as I was channeling dogs is every time I channeled a dog, they had a traumatic experience as a human the lifetime before this one. And I mean traumatic, like lots of war veterans, harsh, struggling lives, traumatic deaths, choosing to be the type of person that might not be the nicest person on the planet. Anyway, just really stressful and sometimes struggling hardship types of lives. And they said they chose to come into this lifetime because they would be able to relax, to be taken care of, to be supported and pampered. And again, you get to choose that form, and you get to choose the family that you're brought into. So it was planned that way. And I found that really interesting. So I asked the dogs, I'm like, so do y'all typically come in to be taken care of? And they're like, yeah, pretty much. That's the most, that's just one way, because you don't, there's more of a possibility that dogs are taken care of by their owners. And I'm like, okay, so what about cats? So then when I started channeling cats are caretakers. They're usually coming in from other planets, and they're actually assisting the family that they end up getting brought into. They're coming in and they're offering healing, they're offering support, and they give that to you and then they walk away. Right? And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. So keep in mind too, because I had one cat channel, and they said what they were doing, where they actually incarnate with the person that took them in and adopted them. They incarnate with that person over and over again through different lifetimes, and they choose different roles and different forms in order to help each other's soul raise its consciousness. They said that they came in as a cat this time, but the next incarnation that they're coming in is in that person as that person's child. So, like I said, there are so many different choices that we have when we are ready to come in. And I actually had a dog, many years ago, that channeled to me that him and his owner, that he departed, that they incarnate typically as like mates, husband-wife type of thing, but that what they wanted to learn with each other at this point was not about nurturing or taking care of, but it was about being able to support one another and being able to hold the space on the planet in order to complete the mission. And so he said that in order for that to happen, he needed to not be a threat. And he said that if I come in as the opposite sex, then what would happen is there would be some type of threat or intimidation that would encounter with what they were hoping to accomplish. And so he chose to come in as a dog, and that they would find each other. Obviously they did, and they would live the life together as soul friends, right? Instead, because that was what was going to help benefit each of their souls, was as him as a dog and her as a woman. So going back to the incarnating and as leaving as a cat and then coming back as a child, it's the kind of thing that actually happens all the time. You can, and I see it. I saw it too last year where there was someone that I knew that lost their dog, and then within 2 months she had a baby, and I was just like, yeah, the timing. All of that was about timing. It's such an interesting topic, and every situation is different. I'm not sitting here saying that, if your dog dies, it's going to come back as a kid, or it's, that or that you are going to have. It's just saying that it's possible, okay? There are limitless possibilities, and what you're choosing to incarnate in and then reincarnate in later, again, is all a part of a desire, a wish that you have in order to bring your consciousness up and levels. And so we get creative. We may not feel that way while we're here on the planet because we're dealing with separation and duality and polarity. There's a lot of stuff that can offer resistance and blocks. But behind the scenes of all that, if you find yourself really struggling in a moment, see if you can step back and go behind the scenes and ask yourself what perspective you might have had before you stepped in. What was it that you think that your soul was asking to accomplish before it actually came in? And see where you click, with those people or beings that are around you, the forms that are around you. Because there's a lot more information there than meets the eye. So that's the video today. Just kind of wanted to share and take you a little bit deeper, get you to ask a few more questions, because the answers are within the questions that you ask. You guys have a great week. See you next time. Bye.